Hello, 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 and happy Monday, y'all. Welcome to Amplify Your Brains Monday, where I join you once a week for 30 minutes to give you insight to really align your purpose with your faith to as you start and or grow your business. So I'm beyond excited to be here with you for another week. So today, our conversation is you were created to multiply. So as you come in, tell me hello, tell me where you're joining from. And I want to welcome LinkedIn. So I'm doing LinkedIn Live for the first time. Hey, 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 LinkedIn people. So listen, as you're coming in, whether again you're watching the replay or you're here live, as my grandmother would say, don't come in the house and not speak. Hey, Renata, right? Don't come in the house and not speak. The other thing I want you to do is if you have questions, you have thoughts, if I step on your toes, if it's good, I want to see you comment. Give me hearts, give me fire emojis, look, say hello, or ask your question. All right. So, with that said, I've been sharing from a series. I started it a few weeks ago, and it's a series that got put on my spirit about 2 or 3 years ago. And it's really been a culmination of the work that I've done in this thing called life. I've been doing this for 28 years as of this September. 28 years, right? And so what he put on my spirit is Genesis 1:28. I should have had this ready. Good thing my Bible's sitting here. Let me open it so I can read it instead of trying to do it from heart. Genesis 1:28 says, Then God blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion. And so, literally, you have to understand that, first of all, God created us to be fruitful and multiply and to have dominion. So, 2 weeks ago, I started this conversation with dominion. And then last week, I talked fruitful. And this week, I'm going to dig into multiply. So, this is what I call, hey, Yolanda, this is what I call the DFM formula. And so, if you've missed any of those conversations, let me remind you that you can go back and watch the replays on my YouTube channel. That's at nrjnetwork.com. So, if you missed us talking about dominion and fruitful, I'm going to review it a little here because you can't get to multiply, which, by the way, is what every entrepreneur wants to know. But you can't get to multiply unless you have dominion and get clear on your dominion, that you have a birthright, you have authority, you have an area that God created you to dwell in. And then you become fruitful in it. Producing good results is what fruitful means, right? And so from producing good results, then when it's good, you want it to multiply and expand and do more and be more. So that's our conversation for today. So again, if you missed the first two parts, go and watch nrjnetwork.com. Go to Amplify Your Brains Monday there on my YouTube page, and you'll see the previous 2 weeks. It's there. All right. So this is a series really I started at the beginning of the year, and this is part 4 of that journey. And so here we are in multiply. So I want you to think about, what does multiply mean? It means to increase, to expand, right? We were all into the prayer Jabez a couple years ago. You guys remember that? The one that talks about enlarging your territory. So enlarging your territory is also a call for dominion, fruitful, multiply. There's so many references, by the way. There's so many times God says in the Bible, and I don't have the notes in front of me, but he tells Adam to, yes, be fruitful, multiply. That's Genesis 1:28. Then he tells Noah, and I don't have my notes. I should have my notes. He tells Noah the same thing. I believe it's in the 9th chapter of Genesis. He then tells Abraham the same thing, and Sarah. So he says, be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over and over in the Bible. So I want you to get this. We were created to multiply. And so when you think about what multiply is, let me summarize. So dominion is you understanding your calling, your assignment, the reason God put you here. Then it's being fruitful. So when I think about those two things, I think of systems. God is a God of systems. And so when you think about any company that creates systems, let's talk about a car manufacturer and the assembly lines they may create. See, they create the assembly line because first they get clear on the product. They've created a car. The car is doing well. It's working. If they create a system from it, they can multiply the production, meaning they can serve more people and do more good, right? Right, Renata, right? And so the same way that Ford, or even if you think about our iPhones, I know there's got to be assembly line at the iPhone company, right? Because in order for you to be able to do more of the thing that you are purposed to do, you've got to have a system in place, and it's able to spread and do more good. Am I making sense, y'all? You with me? If you have questions, then make sure you post them, especially my live ladies. Now, replay ladies, I might not be able to get to your questions, but when you're here live, I'm going to always encourage you to come live, right? So there's 3 things you've got to do to multiply. But before I share that with you, I've got to tell you that the reason I'm so passionate about this is because this is the area I made the biggest mistake as an entrepreneur. So I've been doing this for, again, 28 years. It took me 17 years to learn this lesson. And you want to know what it is? How many of you guys, your grandmother ever said to you, don't put all your eggs in one basket? Baby, don't put all your eggs in one basket. My grandmother said that to me all the time. Hey, Katrina, good to see you. Right? My grandmother used to always say to me, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Y'all ever heard that? Well, my business was failing because that's what I did. I only had one revenue stream. See, the thing that most billionaires don't tell you is that they have multiple revenue streams. So when you're a CEO of a business, by the way, you can be a 9 to 5 or someone that has a 9 to 5 job, but you still should have multiple revenue streams. I'm not going to talk about that today because that's a whole nother conversation. But here's the thing I want you to get. When you're clear on your dominion, you're not everybody's answer, you're somebody's answer. When you begin to produce good results from it because you're clear on compromising on God, why God brought you here, then you are meant to multiply. Now, here's two things. You multiply as you grow and serve more people, but when you grow and serve more people, it brings money back to you. There's a Bible verse, John 10:10, that says, I've come that you have life and have it more abundantly. Abundance is wealth, yes, but it's abundance in health, it's abundance in relationships. See, God wants you to have a holistic, abundant life. And that comes from you living as the highest and best version of who God created you to be. And when you get clear on your dominion, you get clear on how to be fruitful from it. This is where you begin to multiply, which requires three things. You ready? And make sure I pull out my notes so I don't miss anything. So number one is you got to be clear on the result you create. You know, the number of women that I meet that say things like, I empower people, I support people, I motivate people. That's not a result. That's maybe something you do that happens as a byproduct of what you're doing, but that's not a result. Because listen, motivation is tangible. I remember once a gentleman called my office and wanted me to coach him, and I asked him what was the result he wanted. He said, I want to be happy. Okay, so you want to be happy. Tell me what that looks like. He couldn't describe it. So you want me to help you get somewhere that you can't even describe? That's like me telling you to meet me at a restaurant for lunch and I can't tell you the address. You'd never find it. So you've got to be able to speak to the predictable result that happens when you work with someone. One of my favorite quotes by Stephen Covey is begin with the end in mind. So what's the last point of where people get to when they work with you? And it's not motivation and inspiration. Again, that might be something that happens in the middle of you doing what you do, but that's not the result. Okay. So that's number one. The second thing you've got to be clear on in order to multiply, because you want to multiply the result, right? The second thing you've got to be clear on to multiply is you've got to be clear on, or you got to have a blueprint. You'd be surprised how many business owners I meet that do whatever, whenever, however. They have no plan. They're not clear on the methodology that's in them, right? Go ahead, Yolanda, looking up stuff for me. So Yolanda just put up the Bible verses, those of you that can see in the comments from all the places that talk about be fruitful and multiply in the Bible. Thank you, girl. Right? So listen, I really want y'all to get this. A blueprint is needed. So I say this all the time. So Yolanda and Katrina and Renata are clients. So y'all have heard this. There's more than them here. So y'all say hello. Don't come in the house and not speak, as my grandmother would say, right? So here's the thing I want you to get. When you build a house, you need a blueprint. When they create an iPhone, what do? They create a blueprint. See, it's from the blueprint that things are replicatable. I'm like, can I say this word? It's how you replicate and produce good results. So you don't do it one time, you do it every time. Sorry, I just turned the light on my phone on accident. So let me turn it off. So you do it every time and not one time. So that you're spreading the good results, so that you're serving more and doing more, and you're helping more people. See, when my business was failing, can I tell you, I only had one stream of income, which capped off. It wasn't for me about making money, and I want you to get this. When I'm with you, money comes as a byproduct. You know, energy goes where energy flows, and money is energy. But the point is this: when you serve more people, when you are who God created you to be and you're doing the thing you were purposed to do, you're serving more people with your brilliance. That goodness is being multiplied. That brings the money back to you. So you don't focus on the money, you focus on the service. By the way, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. So I'm doing a Clubhouse series. Those of you that haven't heard, I'm on Clubhouse every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Nicole on Clubhouse.com is all you got to do. Even if you're not on Clubhouse, you go there. That's an invitation for you. Go to Nicole on Clubhouse.com. Tomorrow, I'm peeling back the difference between selling and serving. Because look, when you shift from selling to serving, you will generate more revenue, more clients. But you can't even get to that without this multiplication, without understanding how to multiply the gift in you, which starts with a blueprint. So the example I love to use when I talk about a blueprint is Dr. Deborah Tillman. And I like to use her for an example because most people look at people like Deborah Tillman, dare I say Steve Harvey, people I've been blessed to work with, and I think, oh, they're making a lot of money. For many of them, it's not about making money at the level they're at. It's about how many people can they serve with their brilliance. Again, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between selling and serving tomorrow on Clubhouse. But here's what I want you to get as I use Deborah for an example, Dr. Deborah Tillman, is she is America's super nanny. People know her all over the world, all over the country. And yet she still needed help with her business. Yeah, right? So she had so many families coming to her. She was turning families away because listen, you can't clone yourself. You only have so many hours in a day. So you're already capping off how much transformation you could put out in the world. You're already capping off how many people you can help, how many people's lives or businesses or careers will be shifted by you when you only have one way to work with them. So if you're going to multiply your brilliance, you've got to create a blueprint. I remember telling Dr. Deborah Tillman that, and she said, "Oh, I tailor the experience when I work with clients." And I was like, no, you don't. Now I thought she was going to hang up on me and fire me. It was silent. And Deborah's really sweet, right? So here's the thing. I gave her the homework I give to all my clients. Renata knows this, and Yolanda knows this, and Katrina knows this too, because they all have been my clients. Is we create a blueprint from your brilliance. See, once you begin to get clear on how you show up and show out, once you get clear on the methodology that's already in you, listen, I don't help you do anything that's not already in you. I help you get clear on compromising on how you've been serving people on autopilot. Listen, there's two things I've learned in my own journey. And listen, I'm not someone that talks the talk, I walk it. So everything I teach is because I learned it, including this whole multiply thing. God had me deep dive study. I always think it's for me. And then God turns around and tells me to teach it. Right? So here's what I want you to understand. I need you to get it. Is that for Deborah, she couldn't clone herself. She couldn't add more hours in the day. She wanted to serve more people. You can't do that without a blueprint. Once you understand your methodology, and again, let me say it like this. You know, how many of you guys have a driver's license? And when you go take your driver's test, don't they make you, even though you got a side view mirror, they make you look all the way to the side to see if there's somebody on the side of you because there's blind spots there. Well, in our lives, there are blind spots in our lives. There are blind spots in your brilliance that you don't know are present because you are you on autopilot. Every morning when you wake up, you're you. So there are things that are intrinsic to your DNA. When I say DNA, I'm talking distinct natural ability that you don't even know you do. So how do you produce a good result? How do you become fruitful from something you don't even know is there? So it takes an outside person, a coach, to help you do this. How do I know? Because I've had a coach. Well, I have a coach now, but I had a coach that helped that got this party started for me because I too was overlooking my brilliance. Listen, you can't coach yourself. I appreciate you, Renata. Look, Renata's giving testimony. She said, "Yes, Nicole will show you how to extract what God has deposited inside of each of us. Trust the process, and more importantly, trust God to show you who He created you to bless your gifts with." Right? And that's, can I tell you, that's the way God wired me. It's my assignment in this thing called life that you get in alignment with yours. That's what I do. I help you understand how to multiply your gift because there are people waiting for you. So to make a long story short, we created a blueprint. I gave Dr. Deborah the homework. I gave to every single one of my clients. She came back to our second call in tears. Why? Because she didn't realize that she had a methodology. She didn't realize how she had been overlooking sections of her gift. And listen, this is a woman that's on TV every day, been traveling around the world, owns childcare centers, and yet, right? And I'm saying that because the same applies to you. That same Bible verse I said a few minutes ago, John 10:10, the enemy comes to, excuse me, the first part I said was, I have come that you have life and have it more abundantly. We all remember that part. But the first part of the same Bible verse says, the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. See, the enemy doesn't want you to fully stand in your dominion. He's trying to keep you from it. God's not going to make you stand in your dominion. He gives us free will. The question is, will you do what it takes? Because there are people that need you. And when you say yes to it and you multiply it, that's when you get to expand your brilliance into the world. The third thing that happens when you multiply your brilliance is you make money in your sleep. So again, what do I mean by that? Again, for me, money is serving more people. Listen, I've had clients in Singapore. I use this as an example because I'm still blown away that I've served a woman in Singapore. And I'm talking to her on the phone. I'm like, how did you find me online? But see, when you're committed to be the highest and best version of who God created you to be, you're not here because you just want to make a gift or a program because you see, oh, I'm gonna make a program like Renata because Renata's making money. Oh, I'm gonna make a program like Katrina because Katrina's making money. No, boo. That's not how you're wired. So just because you show up on a Facebook Live and I get you excited and on fire, doesn't mean boop, tomorrow you're gonna make money. Doesn't. Because it's not about making money. It's about getting clear on the assignment God put you on this earth to serve in. And then from that assignment, then producing the good results that are meant to come with it. And then once you get clear on the result, let's multiply it out in the world. It's so important that you get this. I'm getting on fire because of it. So I have a gift for you because, of course, there's more. And listen, the reason I'm giving you this gift is there's so much work you've got to do to get clear on it. So I created an ebook called the DFM Formula Book. So again, DFM is Dominion, Fruitful, Multiply. In this book, it's not a read, it's a do. So don't think you're going to get it and read what you're going to read, but I have work for you to do. So you can get clear on your dominion. You can get clear on how you produce and the action and implementation you need to take to produce the result it's meant to produce. And then how do you multiply it in the world? How do you create more and serve more people with your brilliance? So usually on my Amplify Your Brilliance Mondays, I give you a journal. This week, I'm not giving you a journal. I wrote a whole book, ebook. Why? Because listen, there's a wanted poster in heaven waiting for you. There's a wanted poster and the angels are looking for you. Because you are not in alignment with your assignment. Some of you guys have put your toe a little bit in. Some of you guys are on the edge of it, thinking, "Oh, this is hard. Oh, should I do this?" Whatever that is, you're not here with me by coincidence. Even if you're watching a replay, what I know for sure is now is your time. Get the book, dfmformulabook.com. Grab it, do the work, and let's get you in alignment with who God has created you to be. Now, listen. I appreciate you, Renata. Here's what I want to ask each of you to do. If this has brought you any value, I want you to do two things. Number one, tell me the value you got out of our conversation tonight. I'm always going to be here 30 minutes or less. It's only been about 20. So I'm wrapping up. I am. Because here's the other thing. Y'all are busy. You've had a busy day. It's going to be a busy week. I want to give you a big, just a boost of purpose and focus for the week. That's my goal every Monday night, right? So tell me what value you got. That's number one. Second, if this gave you any value, I want you to share it. Whether you're here live, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching it on LinkedIn, whether you're watching a replay on YouTube, I want you to share it so that other women can be blessed by this, so that other people who are waiting to get in alignment with their assignment can hear this message, because this may be the needle point shift they need to go after living as the highest and best version of who God created them to be. Just that simple. Now, next week, I'm starting part 5 in the series. Again, I started this series at the beginning of the year. Right. So if you missed any of them, go back and watch them on the YouTube channel. But my goal is really for 2021. Listen, we started 2020 saying it was 2020 vision. And many of you let COVID let you have blurry vision. 2020 was a year of vision. See, God was intentional. I believe God set us all the way down as a country. Now, I'm not talking about the people that have lost people, and I'm not talking about that. But the rest of us that are still here, oh, God intended for us to have a break so we can get clear on our assignment. So that all the extra time we've had working from home, and yeah, some of you've had added things like cooking multiple meals a day, like homeschooling your kids, all of that, yes. But yet and still, you've had extra time. My question is, have you been intentional? And if you haven't, now is time. Now is your time. Because listen, God needs you. He's looking for you. He's been waiting for you. He put DNA in you, put you here on assignment, invested gifts and talents in you because he knew who he could trust to do it. So don't let him feel like he trusted you for nothing, that he gifted you with special things for nothing. See, when I die and go meet God face to face, I want him to say, "Girl, job well done. I'm proud of you. You played full out." I don't want him to say, "Girl, go back. You ain't done." Mm-mm. So with that, next week, we're going to start a new series. Next week is part 5 in this series I've been doing all year long, based on my favorite girl, Esther, in the Bible. Iron sharpens iron, right? Because listen, it takes a village, it takes a community, it takes people around you to grow your business, to grow your purpose. So I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to dig into that next few weeks. So with that, join me next Monday. Again, share this message if I've given you any value, and get ready to go into section 5 of our set. There's 7 sections in this conversation for this year. So we're almost through it, y'all, right? And can you believe, listen, we're almost at the end of the 3rd quarter. The 4th quarter. No, we're almost at the end of the 2nd quarter. Right? Wait, am I right? Anyway, the point is this: the year's halfway over. Don't let this year end with you having not moved your purpose forward. Don't let this year end with God still waiting on you the same way he's waiting on you in 2020, the same way he's waiting on you in 2019, the same way he's been waiting on you your whole doggone life. Now is your time. Now is your time. So with that said, I look forward to reading your comments about what you got. I look forward to you sharing. I look forward to many of you joining me on Clubhouse tomorrow morning because we're digging back and peeling back even more of this conversation this week. All right. So with that, have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I'll see you next Monday for another episode of Amplify Your Braids Mondays.